Back. Let's get this camera focused in somewhere other than my crotch. I'm sure you don't want to see that. All right, here we go. As you saw on my door, we've got one of these. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's wonderful in every measurable way. And I've got the electrics pretty well dialed in. Let's see if that fits. All right, we may be doing a little bit of funky town to get this one put in place. I wonder. I had it set up where the battery was going to plug in like this, but I think that might have been a screw up because, oh wait, that's bad. Yeah, see, that kind of screws the poochie. All right, well, problems. Gonna have to deal with them. As you can see, this thing is getting to the point where I finally got the radio in that I wanted. See, now that fits really lovely right up on top there. And I don't see a lot of deck space, but I kind of do. And boy, does that make it look all just lovely. And it tucks everything in. And I wonder if that would work under the body too. We'll have to find out because that's right under the main portion of the cockpit. We can roll these down and get them all sexied up there. But as you can see, I went with a Tactic radio SLT TTX 300 super duper. It works. It turns on. And of course, my LRP motor control turns on, fires right up. You can see that. He's waving his little tie rods at you. You can hear that. All right, so the motor's good to go. I only went with a 21.5 turn. It is a direct drive setup. And what I mean by that is you don't get gear reduction based on axle ratio and other stuff. You get a motor gear and a drive gear. So it's a direct ratio. All right, so where are we at? The Tactic radio had to be purchased because it has no antenna. I don't need an antenna tube sticking out of a Formula One car. It looks ridiculous. I believe that the radio can go here. I'm not quite sure. We got to finish the build on the front suspension and all that stuff to get there. Battery, if we can make this work as a riding place for the motor control, we've got gloriousness, and my screw up is averted. Because then the battery will be able to sit in there, and then I can swap out the harness to charge it. So let's get this out of here. Unfortunately, these plugging in type batteries, I already had one of these and it wore out. Kind of broke my heart. Hurt my feels. Hurt me right in the feelers. So I've taken off the servo and gotten it basically centered as good as it's going to get. Let me double check this thing, make sure we're... Oh, shit, yeah. Turn it on with no battery attached, dumbass. That'll work. It'll work from the magic of the universe juice you applied earlier. Ew. There we go. There we are. All right. So this guy... So don't like the fact that it's not dialed necessarily straight. because I'd like it to be dead center, but I think what's happening is I'm getting a little bit of a, it pops right on right there. Turn it over here there, but then I have to turn it one way or the other to adjust the steering, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Should be. There's just not. It lines up very close to the center line there, but I get no choice. I have to adjust the steering to there, and then of course this one's nice enough to have an end stop where it cuts the servo off, where you can't like overforce the suspension. So we're going to cut this off. We've got the electrics kind of set and ready to go. Let's get everybody over here. Get the battery out of the situation. We're going to break in to DARE instruction manual, your friendly local instruction manual. Very ornate, very detailed. All right, so we've got the crossbar locked down. We need a freaking screw right in the middle for the servo. Lock that in place. This one seems a bit long. A touch much, you know what I mean? Dun, 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 dun. We search for the parts until we find what we want. I got myself a nice little macaroon can. Some Manischewitz. Just gonna throw all the junk shit over here and tools into the bin. To the bin they go. All right, don't want to throw those away. Body mounts, weird axle shafts. Well, that's that slipper shaft. All right, yeah. Stuff, things. Here's another wire in case I do have to rewire this, because there's like a possibility that I'm going to have to rewire that, because if this can't go up here and it's got to go there, then I'm going to have to redo the power wire and stuff. So leave that there, I guess. Wing mounts, knuckles, spur holders and shit. Grandy wheels. I'm trying to slowly become more organized. I'm not sure if that shit's gonna work or not, but I figure I'll have tons of parts cans, you know. That'll be cool. Probably. Alright, now we can start scraping the bin here. Aha! This is the kind of thing I was looking for. 2 millimeters? Yeah. Again, wherever I'm using a steel screw is basically just because I've probably cocked up a little bit. And, can we go? Alright. I know this is like a ton of times and I'll just keep plugging this thing in, but I gotta be sure. Gotta be sure this is like a one-time deal. Once you get this damn thing built, it's not very fun to take it back apart. Ah! Okay. We're there. Alright, so it has been served. The savior of the servo is in. Now I believe we're going to need this, because I'm seeing some of these ball fittings, upper control arms. These bigger screws here, potentially, what are they, 18 millimeter they're saying? Those are pretty solidly sizable. There's 4 of those. We got a couple of spacers. That one's up in there like that. That one goes down there. We got a spacer, a ball end. Put the ball in there. Oh no, it goes in there, into the arm. Okay. The arms that I pre-ground on the concrete to make sure that they're scuffed on an upper arm. How did it do that? Standard servo saver installation calls for these big ass long bolts. Where that is not the case for that. Okay. Set it to the side, get some of this going on. Get him goings on. So, looks like an arm there. Looks like an armature there. Gonna need little ball fittings. Let's get into this baggie here. Dump out only what we need. Take a nice little lid. So stuff you're working on, like the parts bag you happen to be messing around with. All right. So it's like a piece of titanium milled into a ball with a hole in the center. It's like a bead. Or a titanium bead. If I'm not mistaken, they're saying to... Does it just sit in there? Maybe that's the last portion that we... Oh God, they're showing it like pressed in. Oh, joy and rapture. Okay. Let us begin. No. Thank you. That's just what I fucking wanted to see. I'm sure this is totally looking like it's going to work. Uh-oh. Oh, you fucking horrible little thing. I mean, am I really freaking not to press this concept like this? Is that what they want me to do? There's no way that that thing fits in there, is it? It does, doesn't it? Oh, God, it's so freaking... I can feel this is tight. When you see me slow down, it might be getting real. Okay, so... Oopsie daisy. Keep you in the thing. More up. In the thing. A little bit more up. Oh. Oh. Did we get a flat bite on it? No, 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 no. Don't come out. Oh, we did it. All right. Okay, so that's how we make the magic happen. You needed, or we needed, you're going to need, if you're building one of these, pay attention to the fact that this little titanium ball here, or steel, I think it's titanium, that's awful light to be steel, has to be pushed into the arms and clicked into place. I may have been a little bit overly cautious, but take a guess at how easy it's going to be to find one of these control arms. I don't want to know. I don't want to find out. So what I'm going to do is continue to press these in here using a very weird technique. All right, so I'm going to unthread the C-clamp, get the ball in where the hole's nice and flat, and run it up. Let's see if I can do this on camera actually. All right. There you go. It's a nice, smooth, and easy way to press the ball stud or the ball joint, whatever you want to call this thing. What do they call this thing? What are you called? What name do you go by? Aluminum ball. Okay. Yep. Man, we got those in place. We need 4 ends here. Oh, this ought to be just fucking awesome to do. Alright, so this and this have to go here. I would almost wonder if I could get more caster out of it by taking that spacer out. Oh, so cool. Thank you. Does that one actually press into place on there too? Do these ends end up? They absolutely do. Okay. Well, here we go again. What fresh hell is this? Scam likely. Hello? Hello? Is this a scam like my phone thinks it is? Oh, they hung up. So, we'll go back into pressing ball ends into control arms. Yeah, this is going to be even more fun. Oh, God, man. Yeah, just mangle the freaking plastic piece with a pair of pliers. That'll suit it very nicely. Okay. All right. Now, C-clamp pulls down. Nice und it's flat. Oh, and it pops right into place. Just the way we were hoping. Set one in place. Go on, get up there, little guy. C-clip goes up and comes back down. Oh. Thank you very much. Okay, so as you can see, now we have some ball ends installed. And we're only just waiting for a couple of screws and a little spacer. Which, like I said, the spacer puts this up this way. And I can't help but wonder, if I leave the spacer out, do I get more caster? Or is it just making an uneven control arm setup by me putting it that way? Should I try not to be the engineer today and just follow the instructions? Don't push it in from the top. Make sure that these ridges on the bottom of the control arm are are facing up, so you're pushing the ball end in from the bottom. Kind of hold on to the clamp, otherwise it'll try and kick off to the side. Okay. Fantastic. Feels great. Looks even better. Oh, tip over. You had a chance to open the clamp up. There you go. All right, and that is how a C-clamp and a tabletop become a bench press for pressing in ball ends and building out control arms. So here we have these guys. That's kind of funky that they do it like that. Come in from the top. Of course, the ball end is threaded. And then you get your little spacer here, so that gives you just a little bit of wiggle room for when you're threading it into the bulkhead here, which is your the bulkhead for the steering servo is right here. There you go. Maybe don't crank the arm all the way up past everything. Okay, well, you're going to want to come in to here just a little bit. Alright. There's that one. And then, of course, this one, I assume, just threads right into both the ball end and then that plastic piece. It just cuts its own series of threads in there, I would have to imagine. So we'll go out of the bottom of that ball end just a little. Just a touch. Because the ball end itself will be able to tighten down. So you'll be able to loosen these things up and down. So far as like, you can back the screw out and raise the arm up, change the angles, and do a few things. I'm not saying you would do that, but it lends itself to a great deal of. It'd be super cool if I had my screwdriver. There it was, hiding. New one, old one, new one. Why not? New one is like There's industry terms for how tight this new screwdriver is. Terms I am not allowed to use that would shock and offend all of YouTube. But regardless of their offensiveness, they do happen to be correct. Or, well, I would have to assume. Oh, shit. That is one tightened. We're going to go all the way down. Hey, get in there. All right, so come in and double check these tie rod ends, or these, sorry, not tie rod ends, they're ball ends. Also find the right wrench, which looks like 5.5 millimeters is where these ball ends are. At least 5.5 stamped right here on my Tamiya wrench. See what I'm saying? Usually when you buy kits from Tamiya, you'll get little wrenches like that with it. All right, so we got one. Let's thread in another one. Yet another one. Maybe make it easier to locate this arm a little bit. Now they're saying put this stuff in here now. I may end up having to unscrew it to get other things down into place, but for right now, we're gonna play like they know which order to do it in. Old one. Old one fitting much nicer, playing much nicer with my little extremely expensive titanium bolts. If I remember correctly, one of these bolt sets is like $60 or $70. Not totally sure why, but I guess since it's titanium and Japan may not have a lot of that material. Oh. When you're cutting threads in this plastic stuff, make sure that you get it nice and straight. You're holding down with a lot of pressure. Ooh. All right, so lay everything up in place here so you can kind of see what we're working with dead on. All right, so you see these arms will move up and down, but these arms do not. These bottom arms are locked in, and they're not just arms as in two, they're like arms as in an arm plate, like it's a whole thing with the lower arms attached. So yeah, there you go. Boy, that looks solid, and it felt nice too. Went together, I think, pretty well. Ooh, turning shit off. Don't need that. Have some water. All right. Now we get into some knuckles and kingpins. Holy smokestacks. So those springs right underneath the C-clip. Wow. That's so weird. Okay. So I'm not sure if you can see a lot of that. That's the front end of one of these cars. If you're looking here at these little springs, they're right here underneath the lower control arm, clipped in place by an E-clip, which I hope never comes off of there. That's some funky shit right there. Okay, so I've seen the bag somewhere in here of goodies that include this stuff. What do we have? Got a couple of knuckles. A bunch of tires. Gonna need a couple tires here after a minute. Here we have a bag of axles and springs. I believe this is a bag of bearings. This is bag F. So this is going to be back in the back section here. So I don't want to mess with that too much right now. Here's the motor mount plate and that. So that'll be going in probably as soon as we get done with this other stuff. I'm assuming, of course, that we have now, this would have been the bag that I was looking for the, it's got my clips and stuff in it. Got no fucking idea where that goes. I got grub screws, people. There's some other stuff too. Well, we'll figure out later on where all this goes. Bit by bit, piece by piece. I still got this stupid choke collar on. Ugh. I hear we might be getting back to normal. Maybe, just maybe. Here's more servo saver rings. I'm not sure if those are going to be necessary. Here's a shock. Where's the stuff? There's the stuff with the roll damper on it. And then some of this other business. Yeah, this thing's pretty cool. Oh, body mounts too. Look at those. All right. Well, we got plenty to work with. That's for sure. Wait, maybe this is body mounts and the roll damper. All right. So we got the back sorted out. We got the shocks everywhere they need to be. I don't know what the fuck this is. So I'm seeing a date stamp on here of 2011 for Tamiya. So this thing's about 10 years old, apparently. I would say 10 years old. Uh-oh. What's happened now? Outstanding. News of a vacationing nature has come in very well on this day. All right, so we got our upper control arms mounted. We're now riding into page 12, step number 21. Grab your bag of spacers, washers, knuckles, axles, springs, kingpins, E-clips, ball ends, and assemble. So these guys I don't need because this goes for a standard servo installation. But look at the quality on those things. I mean, you can see that they're like way nicer than normal stuff. And they're very nice screws. Put them on the edge of the parts can. That'll be cool. All right. Do yourself a massive favor and don't drop or lose any of these parts. And it'll be good for you. Because that's how it's good for me. All right, so probably want to see. And what do we got A and B doing here? Look at A. Upright B, upright A, upright B, upright A, upright B. Upright B allegedly requires a small spacer. There's more bingings and bongings happening, but I'm in the middle of building, so it's gonna be a minute. All right. Traditionally, I would throw a little Loctite on that, but as is tradition. Just a touch. Don't have to get all freaky with it. They're saying rearward, the more outboard of the locational holes there. Ball end, outboard. Upright, bravo. Yet another. Because things in cars usually come in pairs. Oh, touch, touch. Upright alpha. Oh! Like I said, do yourself a favor and don't drop shit. And your day's going to go a lot better. So, oh, there we go. Upright A. We're solid. All right. Our lovely little printed diagram here is showing us that we're going to need these guys. This is a heavier plastic bag. So we cut. And then we dump. You got to remember to keep the springs though, because I'm going with the hard black springs or maybe the medium golds. What do we got? Medium golds. I'm gonna have to give them a little squeezy test and see what the frick. So, what do we do? What do we do, man? All right, looks to me like if you're looking like it like this, because it's got an offset to it, so you might be able to like change the whole wheelbase kind of deal, which I don't think is probably a smart idea. So we go here, and it slides right in. What do you know? Then they want us to put a washer and a spacer underneath the upright. The kingpin, E-clip, and spring assemblage comes up from the bottom to lock everything in. Spacer on top of the upright as well. And they're showing me some funky shit right here. Is that supposed to be another washer or something? Would it be smart to have a washer in there? Is that what they're telling me? Because they don't show a washer being in there. Oh, wait, F4. Wait a minute. Wait just a goddamn minute. They are showing me a part in there. What do you got here? Parts trees are marked. Parts tree F. I don't know if you can see that. You can see the circle right up here. F4. Holy hell. We got two plastic washers here. Una. Come here. Indulce. We like those guys. Oh, they got plastic beads too for these other things. Oh, that's right. They made an F101, right? So this is like an F101 special. I'm such an expert. I know all about these sorts of things. Okay. Here's the shaft. And here's your Jesus clip. Why do they call it a Jesus clip? Because when you go to put it on, little motherfucker springs off. Jesus fucking Christ. Usually. Unless, of course, you have manly fucking fingers, like myself. I think we're going to go with a medium. I like the medium gold. I like a supple suspension. Soft and lovely. What goes underneath this motherfucker? Ah, this stuff. All right, so we're going to hang this out just a little over the edge. We're going to take our washer and spacer. Begin sliding the kingpin. I'm glad that the top moves up and down a little bit. Get this guy in place. Okay, so I need one more spacer on top. Is that right? No, this one. Little thin guy. Nope, 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 wrong. Thin guy on bottom. There you go. Right in. Tall spacer. Up we go. F4. Plastic spacer. Washer. Yada yada. Add Jesus clip. And you got yourself a Formula One style front suspension. Clip your tie rod into place. You can put the clamps on it. You squeeze it. You give it the pinch. You gotta give it the old pincharoo. All right, so now we've got. Oh, look at that. That's sexy shit right there. And this motherfucker goes up and down. That is absolutely hilarious. How much design goes into one of these things. I have to carry all the electrics with him. Load him up. Check this out. And the knuckle. And ride up and down. But like a true Formula One car, you don't have just a big ass set of suspension. You know, a little bitty tiny adjustable one. And a lot of Formula One suspension is like almost rigid. All right, motor, get off of that thing and stop screwing up the ball end. All right. Now we repeat our little process. We have the ball end installed already. Let's install the axle. Oop, flip that over, get them in the right spot. We need a washer and a short spacer. We need a kingpin and a Jesus clip. We put the Jesus clip on with a satisfying click. Slide the spring down over the rod. Slide the rod up to the bottom. Spacer and washer on top of the rod. Add your knuckle. Knuckle. Come on. Come on, knuckle, get on the team. Tall spacer. Up through your upper ball joint. F4, plastic washer. Compress the suspension a little bit. Come on. Come on. All right. Add Jesus clip and marinate in your success as you clip on the tie rod end, completing your Formula One front suspension. Well, at least that step of it. Oh shit, look at that. Oh, I get it. Attaching the uprights. Would you look at that? That's what those little grub screws and flat sides are. Hell, and I already put in the freaking tie rod ends because I'm so good. Son of a bitch. All right. Yeah, I guess it will rattle. All right, kids. Here's the dealio. Your venerable host has went ahead and clipped things into place a little too quick. We're going to have to back up one step. All right. Taking the tie rod ends off. Whoop. Oh, whoop. Okay. Why? We're going to flip our knuckles out this way. And in through the backside here, we've got a grub screw and a set screw that I was just dicking around with here and said I have no idea what these are for. These right here. All right. All these extra parts and pieces are going to have to go in like a little plastic toolbox just to hold as spares, and then tune-up pieces, obviously. All right, so we got a grub screw. Why? Why in the hell would you have a grub screw? Because we're going to grub screw the axle to the kingpin. So when it rides, you don't have kingpins and axles and shit slapping around, banging against each other. Seat it onto the axle. Of course, it's got a little bit of this stuff in it. You know what I should do? The grub screw should be able to be removed. So we put the grub screw inside to the axle. Good times, right? Okay, so now definitely locked on and it doesn't drop down and do. Then we take this little guy, which some genius decided, hey, let's put a Phillips head screw in the middle of all this stone cold racing goodness. That guy was a bit of a dick. Oh, because as we all know, or maybe you don't know, maybe I'm about to inform you, drop some knowledge on that ass. The Phillips head screw was designed as the very first anti-tamper screw. It was meant to strip out upon installation and render the screw useless furthermore, except for the purposes of holding whatever you'd screwed together and not having somebody come back and unscrew it. Unfortunately, when you're trying to use one of these damn things, putting them in and getting them to stay in under a very rattly kind of a situation is not very fun. So what I've done is run the screw in with some Loctite on it. And then take the screw all the way back out. Dry some Loctite off of the screw itself, okay? Removes the excess and gives a very light coating of thread sealer into which the screw can grab onto and hold onto. These machine threads have a tendency to come loose. So, back around once more into the breech, my friends. Grub screw! Come here, grub screw. Get in there, you. It has been grub screwed. It has been grubbed in place. Staked, grubbed, screwed, blued, tattooed. Oh, too much. Pardon me. You want like ever so slight of an amount in a situation like this where you have to use this Allen screw because it's a flathead screw. And the way everything turns around in there, you don't necessarily want some big bolt head in there. I don't want that messing up anything. Plus, it's the most important part is that it's got the flat set, like the shoulder of the head is holding on to the edge of the grub screw. So as you screw the grub screw in, you're capping off part of the grub screw to hold it in place to guarantee this axle does not shift or do anything weird, which is to say it shouldn't bounce around and stuff like that. All right, get your pinchies ready. There they go. Boy, this one's playing hard to get. Playing hard to get. Ah, got it. Okay, so we got most of the front suspension happening. Let's check in with the old instrucciones. Oh, look at that. Put the tie rod ends. After your grub screwings. All right, next thing's next. It's telling me, it's showing me a picture of a motor installed with spur gear, motor plate, everything, which I think is probably the next thing. So we're going to get into this bag here, and then it's telling me we need to get into some body mounts up underneath here. So why don't we is that just a spacer? Indeed it is. The motor plate itself looks to be just a spacer. Like it's not going to be something that has threads in it, so you don't have to be aligning and screwing things and doing whatever. All right, more parts. And again, more of the parts. More of the parts you know and love. Okay, first things first, we're going to grub screw our pinion gear. Oh, yes, just a touch. Just a touch. Just a touch. You can't really see it too good. Just a tiny little bit. These are kind of nice. It's a TRF 04 module, 24 tooth pinion gear. We're going factory grade here. I can probably, if we're going to be honest, get away with quite a lot more pinion. And let's just double check what this says as far as where we should be. Because if I can, I want to. I want more pinion gear out of this thing. I want more top speed. Okay, so it says that the 24 tooth is going to be a 4-to-1 ratio, which is correct. And we can go to 29 on the chart, which will give us a 331 final drive, which I believe on a 21.5 turn motor is going to be relatively fine. That one actually works. And now we can sit here and count the teeth on it and see whether or not we got something to work with here. All right, so we got one tooth marked. We'll count him last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I'm not mistaken, that just told me it was a 30 tooth pinion. So we're going to have 30. Yeah. All right. 30. So the top of the charts is a 29 tooth. And what I'm showing here is the ability potentially to throw down and get into a 30 tooth pinion that I've set aside. I don't think this one will work very well, even though it is the same module or same gear pitch. But this one's obviously like big. That's a big one. That's a 40 tooth. We don't need a 40 tooth. I think 40 is a bit much. I think we will ratchet it up to a full-blown 30 teeth. Let's see what that says if, in fact, I brought my iPhone out here. I did. Excellent. Hello, iPhone. 96 divided by 30, 3.2. 3.2 to 1 ratio. Now I just have to figure out which size of screwdriver do I use, because I just have to change stuff all the time, you know. I'm a master at doing this to myself. Negative. Not gonna happen. Not even close, matey. Try again. Let's see. God, this thing is freaking microscopic. Microscopic and annoying. Like highly annoying. Now I have to go dig through tools and stuff. Oh. Oh, Christ. Ugh. Too big, too big, too big, too big, too big. Oh, just right. I shall name him Goldilocks. Can we get lucky enough that this grub screw is like the same size as a different one? That I might be able to use a different grub screw? Could I get that lucky? Could it be? God, that would be cool. Damn it all. Damn it, Jim. You don't get that lucky in this world. All right, 24 tooth pinion. We've got one. And it's a spare. All right, this one, we're going to have to get a little dousing. Aha. All right, so we've got that on there. Let's take a peek at what this means to be a motor mount. Let's take a look at taking the wheel off. Get a little bit of space in here, a little room. Oh, come here, you. Okay, so we've got some nice motor mount screws here, it looks like. Looks as though I'm going to have to skip back a page or two and get back into where the motor should have been mounted, but I didn't want to mount it until I had all the electrics put together. 3x12 millimeter, okay. So we've got some good ones, 3x12s, real solid, good healthy size, I believe. Yeah, and they've got a size all their own. Blue driver. And of course, we're going to want one of these washers. And a touch of the Loctite makes everything right. Get the motor aligned to where you think it's going to go. It looks, they're showing the fins to be like that way. I guess it's kind of right. So which holes are we doing here? Set that down. Shit, we can do multiples here. Alright, so if we went like so, we're going to want this guy facing in somewhere like this. Awesome. Immediately upon arrival, you stuck the whole goddamn time, and now you need to go into the dirt, pick up some of that, because it's good for the aluminum. Thank you, son of a bitch. All right, let's try this again. Maybe you can just stay there. There's another little dabble. Put you over Here this time, maybe. Oh, this motor plate idea is a real fucking special one, I can tell you. Dude. I get the feeling that I used the wrong screws. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. I hate the friggin' fact that I can't listen to tunes while I'm doing this. Trying to just provide a little information for people. Might as well have some decent tunes while we're doing it. But no. Thanks, YouTube. Okay, so we're not going to want to go in from that angle. Let's flip this over to the top. Scoot this shit over. Get this out of the way. Nice. Should be nice and tight. Okay. All right. I'm supposed to be commentating and making this all interesting, but the real truth is that this is one of the more boring aspects of this hobby. You have to sit here and get these gears correctly done. Otherwise, oh, you will regret it. And sometimes you go popping this thing in there and it just doesn't want to go. Looks like a really nice engagement. Little bit of play. A little bit of lash in there. And that's what we're looking for. Just a touch. Get those bolts seated and tightened down real good. Okay, so what we want to do now, get our little wrench back out. I believe it's time to start building the back end of the suspension. But what we're going to do is verify that we don't have any weird fucked off noises coming out of this thing. Hey, switch, come with me. Okay. So this stuff needs to be cared for in such a way as to not be making it real hard for it to live. So when that gets bolted on, we're gonna have to zip tie some shit into some things and some stuff, like this sensor wire maybe getting rerouted or something like that. I may put him down here. Something. But for now, let's see if we've got, oh, so lovely. Now for the back end. Woo! All right. She wants to go. I like it. Fucking tires grabbed grip and it just tried to shoot off the bench like a rocket. Good. Good. Ah! It made little black marks. Oh, what was that? I hope it didn't cut out. Because if you notice, viewers, I left two little tiny Formula One style black marks on my bench. And if you don't believe me, I'll do it again. All right. There we go. So, I believe okay. I don't know what the deal is with this thing getting like spacing in here. I'm pretty sure that might need to be tightened up or something, but I say, maybe. Maybe. We're going to see how well that rides, but we'll just have to see. And like I said, we'll just have to see. Damn it, Jim. We lost a spring. We got a spring unsprung. The spring has been sprung loose. It was my soft one. I have no soft spring anymore. I get no choice. Medium or hard suspension. That spring will turn up. Okay. We're just about to get into the rear end of this vehicle. But I would like, and because we're going to have to crack open into this bag anyway, I want to dig this stuff out. This bag F. We got some sticky tape, zipping ties, another zip tie, some bag of parts, more bag of parts. So I think if we just go here, pardon me, I get at least one or two of those in every stream. Not sure why. Probably because I don't eat that much. Yeah. We got some cool lock nuts. Let's put the bearings in the front tires, get this thing on 4 wheels. Get him on 4 wheels, kids. It's a car, not a stand. These particular Formula One cars, the rim holds the bearing. Not a bad set of bearings, especially when you just push them in with your thumb. I'm getting blown up, as they say. I'm blown up, man. Okay. Seems like that's not very fun to think about. What do we got here? We got a picture. All right. Seems like that's a good thing. Sorry, I'm getting sent like text after text after text. Hey, everybody seems to be in agreement. It's going to be summer and it should be fun for everyone. Be careful. Okay, so the front tires get put on with which well, they're the ones without the where did those go? All right. 2 front lugging nuts. Beautiful, brand new blue aluminums. Lock nuts, of course. Love it. All right. Let's spin him around. Where's his other tire? Ooh, there it is. You can take your Fisher Controls screwdriver and use the flat end here. What's that? You don't have a Fisher Controls pencil screwdriver, pocket screwdriver? Damn it. I'm very sad for you. You better find something that is equivalent. The equivalent of said screwdriver. Marvelous. Now we put this in here, and we're genuinely starting to acquire a Formula One style vehicle, which is freaking sweet because I've kind of been digging on this car for a long time, and it is just now coming into fruition, I guess you could say. Finally got the pieces and parts and whatever collated and collected. All of his little bits and pieces. I still have the end cover screws to put in on this. I just have to pop the tire off and plots a couple in there. But that will be something that has to be done. It looks like this sensor wire is going to clear nicely as long as I just take and zip tie it. Hopefully we can find a place to live right above here cleanly for the motor control. That would be wunderbar. But now it's time, I believe, to unplug this, take the battery and set it aside. I don't want to work on it from that side because the motor control is going to be in the way. So let's get onto some of this loveliness that we have here. Couple body mounts, W7. Okay. I get the feeling that we're going to need this one here. This one here labeled W. All right, so let's take this. Got the parts to the roll damper right there too. I'm assuming that we can use whatever screws we feel like on this. Kind of wonder if I shouldn't use these, but so I don't want to pinch myself on bolts later on. I don't necessarily know that I will, but trying to use something small and light as opposed to stacking this thing with heavy duty amounts of steel bolts is not really what I want to do. All right, we're going to use a bevel head on here. Probably should use a button, but bevel will go nicely and fit in place without a lot of hassle. And I've got a couple extras sitting here. So that's the way we're going with it. All right. Couple of body mounts there. Let's figure this concerns the hell out of me. I'm worried about, I think I'm going to have to cut this whole Benetton section back, like really far, where it's just not even going to say Benetton Sports System anymore. I really am worried about that. Okay. Yeah, for that to go that far, to go in that far, it can't go back that far because the freaking tires are in the way. You're talking inches into there. Of course, where does the nose cone bolt onto? How does that go into this little arrangement? Because of the wing that I chose, we got to have a set in stone kind of mounting profile for the nose. That drags it way the fuck up there. Can't happen like that. Good Lord. Alright, so you got this, and you want it approximately back there. I should have moved that Benetton Sport System sticker back a little bit. We'll have to see if maybe we can end up doing that. But we're talking like in the funkified. So we're going to want it to come back into here. Maybe we could glue this up in here. Okay, the fun stuff now. When you combine one of these vehicles with parts from all over the planet, you might end up saying, ah, whoops, I put stuff where it didn't belong. And that's not going to make you happy because these little winglets have got to go. Jesus, they're all the way back into here. So right in front of this. Yeah. Super. And how far up do they gotta go? I'm trying to drop this thing down. Fuck me, run. Alright, so the Benetton sticker has to go. Sad but true. That's alright. I suppose we'll just accept it. Part of the sad fact of building some of these cars. You're going to end up punching holes in stuff, and it ain't going to be all that pretty. So this is, are we even touching these yet? Oh God, I might get just lucky enough to get those right through the hoops and get it down on there. on one peg without it freaking touching. And that just means the body's hanging. All right, so this is going to be another little interesting, fun time. It's curved. Right. Let's try to put this stuff far outside where we might be able to get this down in there just a ways. Where are we looking here? This is really good times, I gotta tell you. Well, it's not exactly what I was hoping for because the wing's a little bit forward to where I wanted, but I can't shorten the wing. It's not a bad looking car. Not a bad looking car at all. Obviously, I gotta have to clean off all the wings and the stuff and such, but that'll be coming up here after I get everything kind of figured out what the heck I'm gonna do. I think those body mounts are okay, but I may be switching out something a little bit taller. I'm not sure. I may have something over here that's a little bit better. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Let me see. This one. You see these things? These are long. They sit up taller, even sitting on the floor. So that's kind of what I'm gonna probably end up throwing on there just to give myself a boost in height. You know, maybe give it another half-inch worth of ability to clear. We'll get those off of there. Get some new ones on. All right. Cool. More Jesus clips. Right. Yeah, I suppose. I don't see that one anywhere. That could be an issue. If you've got an issue, here's a tissue. What are we doing here? Looks like we're going to be into placing a damper, building a damper. These are a lot of fun. A little dirty, a little greasy, a little oily. But overall, a lot of fun. So you get your little chalk oil, you get a little tube of some grease, friction damper grease. So the roll damper is a friction damper, I guess. The pitch damper is an oil-filled aluminum body unit from the TRF. Oh shit, look at that. They've got an aluminum roll damper in here with all the little, oh my god. So you get the plastic pieces and you get the aluminum bits to build either or. That's pretty cool. I love Tamiya. I wasn't realizing that's what they were doing with it, but I love it. That company is just so good at doing that stuff. All right. I'm pretty sure I remember most of this by memory, but I'll keep looking back and forth to the instructions. Here went my Jesus clip. One of them. There's another one. All right, good. Good. Okay, so we got to take some Jesus clips. And we got to pop them in place. Now, these little tiny baby ones are a little bit easier to do when you have a pair of pliers. You see the notch in the pliers? That's a pair of electrical pliers installing a circlip, an E-clip, or Jesus clip, whatever you want to call it. Son of a bitch. That was an aluminum piece. That was aluminium falling. All right. Your shock piston, a little piece of plastic, a little Teflon. Circlip on the bottom and the top of the piston so that it holds on to the rod. All the way down in. And then what you're going to need, let's double check our beautiful little instructions here. All three of those parts will go right into the bottom of the shock casing, the body of the shock, I guess it were. As soon as this little sticky ass O-ring gets out of here. Come on, man. Don't drop your O-rings, your doodads, or your whatchamacallits. Shock shaft. Small ring. Sticky ass O-ring. Don't hurt the O-ring on the threads of the shock shaft. You've inserted the shock shaft to the small side of the body. And then there's a ridge. Point the ridge to the outside. And of course, there we have the little cap assembly. Be gentle. Square everything up nicely. Squoze it down. Okay. On adjusting ring. This adjusts your spring tension on the shock. If you want it sloppy loose or whatever. What else do we got? We got an O-ring there. Where's the O-ring go? Why would I have an O-ring but they don't show me what to do with it? DE7. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. Your BE7 larger O-ring gets fitted into your damper adjusting nut or collar, whatever you want to call it. That is going to go onto your shock body and provide just a little bit of tension. Just a touch of tension. I'm going to take a touch of the grease and put it on this shock body. This friction damper grease. Why? Because when you put this little O-ring in there, you don't want the threads chopping through that O-ring like that. It'll cut it and strip it and do all kinds of shit. So the O-ring gets a little bit of lube from the grease. So do the threads. Not a bad thing on aluminum. And it gives tension so that it can't unscrew itself when you're. We'll set it middle of the way down. How's that? It shows me in the picture what I am about to do. Tops of the shock are V9. We're gonna need parts, people. Parts and such. Looking for parts tree Victor. V9. So which one do we want to use? Short, long? Oh, wait a minute. Ah, here we go. There he is. There's my friend. And then we use another. It'll be this guy, I believe. All right. So we've got these guys. Shave this off. Little tree trimmings. You don't want that stuff getting on there and getting in the way. If it gaps that cap out or something like that, you will regret it. All right. Shave that off a little bit. Got our aluminum top cap here. All right. And then you got your little Dickie-Doo condom hat there that goes down to cover the oil and seal the cap. Now you take your oil, got your shock shaft installed, and pull it all the way down. Lean the oil up against the side of the jug and gently squeeze to not get a bunch of air bubbles in there. Fills the oil all the way. Nice and slow. Slowly. Slower than that. Very slowly. All right, all the way up to the top. Push the piston rod into the shock and pull it back down. It's going to allow any bubbles or whatever to get out of there. And then you allow those bubbles settle back up to the top of the damper. The top of your damper. Give it a little spin. Yeah, you got little bitty bubbles in there, aerated. Bubbles will compress. Air compresses, as it were. All right, now you want to top off a little bit of the oil. Get it all the way up to the top, where you know some is going to spray out a little bit. You're going to put this damper cap in there. Push it down with the aluminum. A little rubber Dickie-Doo hat in there will catch on the edges. The aluminum cap will seal him down on the edges. Make sure your shock tower mount is on nicely. Screw the shock top all the way down. Now, take a look. Oh, it's a rebound. It goes in and out and in and out. Now we take that and we put the spring on. We also forgot to grab the bottom spring plate, which they do not include in aluminum. Highly offended. All right, a little spring keeper. All right, so that all fits on there, but you have to take, once again, your little snap-on pliers are going to be nice because it's got that round part. You don't want to crush the shock shaft. You don't want to put dimples or marks in it. You just want to hold it tightly enough to where you can actually get this end to thread on here. And that'll get you the ability to put the spring lower cap on. Typically, you'll screw this all the way up to the ends of the thread so it's nice and snug. How do I know? Well, because I built a few of these. We'll bring this guy up just a couple of threads. Here, it's got a split in the ring so you can slide it over the shock shaft. And then an outer ring to it where it holds the spring. So there you have one of your dampers. All right. Cool. Cool in the gang. All right. Now it's telling me, get ready for your roll damper. Time to build a roll damper. Never done one of these. Let's cap off our oil here. They give you plenty of oil for like a couple of shocks. You see how that stuff's still clear up at the top. So you've got enough for the shock to build it. And then usually you can get through 4 shocks in one of those bottles if you're judicious. All right, they got a little thing here. It's a link, like a grub screw shaft. All right, so you see how that's on the end of the doohickums there. Oh, there you go. Have one of those. Put that in your book, people. Right, so we got this little intermediate shaft here. And that goes into this. Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It goes into this. According to the so-called instructions. All right, so we got about half of that in there. Take this and screw him in here. Oh, it's threaded. Okay. All right, it says apply our grease to there. Take another one of these. Apply him to here. Assuming, of course, you can get it to thread in there. All right. Don't thread and cross thread, do all kinds of stupid shit, asshole. Sometimes these plastic pieces will kind of lose a thread and they'll flop over and do some weird shit on you. So watch out when you're putting them together. This one decided to pitch one thread out at me. But we got a roll damper here. All right, so roll damper is a friction damper. So this little rod goes greasy into here and then it keeps it from doing things and stuff. Plots my little grease in here. All right, so it's got grease coming out the freaking hole in the roll damper. And then grease coming out the end. That must mean there's the limits of our greasiness. All right. Pitch and roll. Now we've got dampers built. Back in. Oh, let's go to the instructions to see what we got next. Okay, so we're going to have a couple of plates of carbon fiber. These look like we're here. So let's get into these. We're going to need this guy first, and then this guy will come second. And I imagine that's where all the mountings are going to happen. Then we'll figure out from there what do we do with the motor control. Can we get it onto the top? Looks like the battery gets a couple pieces of double-sided foam tape. So we'll see. We got some stuff coming up here. All right, so we need a spacer, a ball end, a spacer, a ball end, and 2 screws. spacer, ball end, spacer, ball end, 4 screws. Love it. Just love it. All right. So we're going to put these down. This guy. Getting into this one here. And then we put the spacer. All right. So we got this piece. And he's over like this. And we got a spacer and a ball stud. But we also need this screw to come through the top here. There. Screw the ball stud on. Cautionary tail. It's all the weirdest stuff you never really expect to actually end up coming loose. So a little dab on most of these connections where it's metal to metal will help you keep this stuff together. Let's see here. Where? There. Alright, so that one's sunk down in there. This guy, and then this hole right here is going to get the same treatment. This one, put the spacer on. A little dab will do ya. Not so freaking much, please. Alright. Lessens the screwdriver, tightens the head of support. Oh, and it feels so nice. Okay, so we got that plate. Roll damper. So this one goes on the motor mount bulkhead. Looking at the gear side. This one goes here. This one goes there. Roll damper goes across to here. Okay, and then this is the shock mount plate, as it would become to be known. So I think this way. Oh, yes. Whew. Rough. Rough, rough, rough. All right. Whee! All right. Friction roll damper thing. All right, now they want us to go in with 2 of these screws, usually on the deck screws, holding them down, put on Loctite. Just kind of pointless. Because you're gonna have to. I mean, if you have to take it back apart, undoing all that Loctite makes it really, 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 really not fun. Okay. Well, that's my screwdriver screwing up and not tightening things properly. All right. A little tight. A little snuggy. All right. So now we've got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So now we got to take. Long side is going to the back. So long side like this. We're going to build it like this. And this shit looks like it goes here. What? What? like this. Okay. VF5 O-ring, black, 2.3 by 1 millimeter. Is going to be, who the fuck knows where. Hey, look at that. They're right there. What do you know? So this is the guy we're going to need for that one. And then looks like these will be some of the body kind of mounts arrangements. And then we got some more spacers and stuff there. Dig it. Okay. Let's do this one because it's going to be the top board. And when we get that mounted, we'll be able to put in the strips of stuff for the battery and all that stuff, the way it's going to ride and everything. Oh man, this is exciting. Just for an instant there, I let myself think about what it would be like to drive this car. Okay, come on. Come on, little O-ring. Come out to me. All right, so we've got a plate, and it's going to need 2 mountings to it. Oh, an antenna post. I don't need an antenna post. And it only needs the ball shock mount to go to the far rearward hole, which is fine by me. Okay. Little touch. Let's get this ball end going on. Do we have any spacers underneath that? No? Okay. Looking like we might get some real estate here if we're lucky, for the motor control to live, which would be super nice. I would appreciate that. I keep switching screwdrivers, and it is not helping me find what I need when I need it. Okay, there's that. Ball stud installed. So you're telling me, okay, so what I gotta do is on either side of the T-bar, I'm supposed to cut off little chunks so that this can, oh, because why would the battery want to be twisted up with the T-bar? Duh. Okay, get it? I understand it. I'm with you now. Thank you, Tamiya. Okay, so now what I need is a fresh paper towel or chunk and a little bit of the old Windexio. So here's our foam. It's a single-sided foam, so it's going to be padding our battery compartment. We're going to do a little square there where it doesn't overlap into anybody's world. Hopefully. We don't want that to be giving the business to the T-bar and shock absorption. There we go. There's one for there. There's one for there. Excellent. And then we'll put a nice big strip across the front of there. So let's get these guys popped down into place. That one. My big fat fingers would start to work, this will go a lot better. There you go. Now I'm going to want something right here. So let's go with another one here. And then one right in front of it. Right in front of him. We're going to make two on the front side so that they can be just the same. And this gives us a padded base for the battery to ride. Battery has a home. Side plate or top plate for this. Okay, we got the little O-ring doohickums on there. That'll have to be changed for the mounts. And then the shock will be clipped in place. Where's the shock actually ride? Body forward. Alright, so now we got some spring. Spring in the step there. Crank this bad boy down just a little bit. There we go. I guess maybe it is. Oh, that can't be right. Oh, wait, there you go. Put it on the right side, stupid. Alright, so that's going to go there. This guy will ride right here. And then that'll push up into place when we need it to push up into place. So we got these guys. Little O-ring, let's not headbutt the Windex too much. Little baby O-rings. Screws, don't know if these will actually have to be Loctited since they've got no ring. All right, there. Now we're going to put this up on here. All right. Huh. Here's the key. Do we have enough real estate for this guy to live? I think we do. I really think we do. We got enough real estate for everybody to live, including the switch and stuff. So if we could get this switch to chill out maybe down here. All right, now we need to get into mounting some electronics, putting a few zip ties to make sure the wiring don't get in the way of anybody. And I believe this stuff here is going to help me, because I'm going to put a piece of this right here, which I believe is some severely double sticky tape. We should hope. Where is it? Am I wrong? This is some other kind of magical widget that I don't understand. All right, we might have to find a different double sticky tape. I'm so fucking organized for this. What shall we do? Well, it's definitely something I'm going to have to deal with here. But I'm genuinely surprised that I haven't seen one of the packets that I usually that come with the motor control coming in hard with some double sticky, saving my butt. But no, that ain't the way it goes. There you go. How's that? Double-sided sticky tape. Where in the hell is it? I know I gotta have some somewhere around here. Alright, look at that. There's some right there. One tiny little piece. But I need more. I need more. I keep finding decals and all kinds of stuff over here. Imagine that. Dang it, people. I just want to mount this thing. Let's make sure we find some more. Oh, people, I am a hot mess over here. I had that stuff set out in a set aside where I would want to use it. Should I be able to indeed get to building things and the stuff? And unfortunately, I have misplaced it. Figure that one out. How did that happen? I do wonder ever so slightly if I didn't put some of that stuff in this bin. One of my parts trays over here might be holding on to a special secret or two. Well, oh well, oh well, oh well, well, I am not beyond, and this is a bit radical, so just so you're aware, I am willing to pull the trigger on radical. I'm not beyond taking a little bit of super glue, which I have right here, and applying it in such a manner that things get sticky quickly. So what we're gonna do is put this guy back over here. Yeah. Oh, don't do that. All right, so that could probably go there. We're gonna rotate these guys. They're kind of crossed, but that's the way they gotta live. This guy's gonna live right down here. A little switch. I wonder if I shouldn't put the switch up here. I think I might, because then the power wires just come right down. Fucking not very well. Let's take this and redo it. That's a problem. That's a problem I didn't want. But the battery's riding all weird now. I'm not necessarily angry at it, I guess. That'll just have to be kind of how it goes. And then we'll take these guys and we'll zip tie those together. Oh, goody. I made it. All right. Get that put down around there. So we got some wiring to go in there. And when that goes in there, that should sit right down on to there. Wait, what? What did you just see? Yes, that's right. You just saw somebody take a little bit of super glue, just touch, and stick the shit right where they wanted it to go. You understand me now? You feel me now, doggy? Why? Because the little plastics on there will just go clink and it'll pop right off, or the plastic will break and you'll have to buy a new one. So best of luck if you try it. Here's what I want. I want some motor wire action to be inside this motor wire cage like it wants to be. There we go. I think if we just wrap those up, put one around them. I think that works. All right, so maybe it doesn't work as good as I was hoping because there's a sharp piece, and I don't like sharp pieces. Ladies and germs, here you have, maybe I should put it in front of the camera, the beginnings. What I'm going to have to do is wire this guy back up to over here probably, or down over here. I think that's where we'll go. Maybe having to be some adjustments and stuff like that that I may have to do. Not necessarily really all that sure. Hadn't owned a Formula One car like this before, so not sure how necessarily fantastic it's going to drive right off the bat. I got to figure out, what the hell it's doing first and whatever. But I'm assuming that because of the way it's been set up, it will actually be fairly nice to drive. All right. So there you've got your little wiring. That's why you see how the red and black's crossed over. It's because I fucking turned it around. That cover plate's not going to allow the battery to do anything weird. Although I imagine I could put a set screw in there. Something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe I could do that. Maybe we do that, huh? Maybe we put a set screw in where the battery goes and make it hold just over to the side so it pushes it to the other bulkhead. Yeah. So, okay, what you're seeing is the basics of a completed chassis. There's your wiring. As it comes through, you can see I'm going to add taller mounts. You can see the suspension kind of kicks it at an angle to the back. So it kind of humps up in the middle, but this thing has a full suspension, and it is Just fantastic. I may end up having to glue the motor mount down, or the motor control down. And I will probably end up kind of leaving this battery in place. It looks like it's got enough room just to pop right out and clear. And it may have a battery hold down clamp or something like that, but the way this thing is in here, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so one more test. Here, there. All right. So the gearing is obviously not going to be a problem, especially when you consider it's sitting here ripping black marks all over the bench. We have a little bit of steering work to do. I've got a tie rod here that's a little bit out of sorts. And we don't have reverse on this car. So that's nice. All right. That's actually really nice. This thing works pretty good. I'm glad the electrics are... I have no brakes of any kind. Well, I guess. All right, I need to save this little wrench because that's the one for the set screw on the motor. Motor control technically just popped loose a minute ago, a little second ago. Because of that double sticky tape, it's squishy. It's squishy, so it doesn't really do what it's supposed to. As you can see, you can't really see it too well. I did set this thing up for a pretty good camber angle. So it kicked in a little bit at the top. Should give me a little bit of a... Let's see here. We need to pull that in, so... A little alignment adjustment right now. Get the tie rod end pitched where it needs to be. Just a touch of toe end is what we're looking for. Look at the threads and see. This one's got a little bit more. Maybe I'll take this one back out and go toe in just a little bit. There we go. There we go. I'm starting to like that. Okay, that's a good chunk. That's a good chunk done. I like where we're at. I don't know if I'm going to cut it off now or if I should try. Maybe. Maybe. Why don't we cut this off? Get back into this section and then maybe try and get some of the body mounts adjusted here as far as which ones are going to be on there. Let's toss those shorter ones, get some longer ones. We may have to cut the longer ones down depending on where this body's going to sit on here. All right, so we got some big ass tall body mounts now. I love how the suspension on this thing is so functional, and it's perfect. It is so Formula One, and it's just perfect. Um, let's see, where's the body gonna go? Here. All right, so now at least I can see where the damn thing's sitting. You want to kind of line up the front and the back and get it where it's sitting fairly square, and then potentially you can start to mark where everything's going to go, get the holes drilled, set everything down into place. That's obviously very weird looking right now, but you know what? I'm going to take a break for breakfast, or lunch as it were, now that it's noon. That'll be great. We've got, look at that, 2.5 hours I've spent out here with you viewers. I'm sure you've watched exactly none of it, which is fine. That's cool. I understand. This is not very exciting stuff. But when it comes down to being like an exciting new vehicle for us to use, super exciting, because this car should be relatively quick, but it's our only working two-wheel drive car so far. We have a team associated B4 buggy that's a two-wheel drive that we'll be kicking into here relatively quick. I wonder if I can get that to sink down a little bit. I don't know. This motor control wiring may be giving me the business. But that's the fun part about it. You can do a bunch of different things with it and get it all figured out your own way, however you want. Eventually, you'll get it. But yeah, I've got a good standard on that. I'm really excited by this. This thing is, man, what a thing. What a freaking kick ass. I mean, this is a clean, nice little installation. You know, the wires don't have to go anywhere. They're not going to be doing much of anything. I love the way everything just kind of sits and rides. So, as far as I'm concerned, this car is just about ready to be driven. All I got to do is slap the body on it, and we should be able to go. From what I'm seeing and hearing, this thing's got good everything going on. So, and it's got a really, God, that suspension just kicks ass. I like that suspension. That's why I'm not messing with the body yet. I haven't got done looking at it and touching it yet. So, when I get the body on there, I'll let you know here in another video or something how well it did, stuff like that. But there you have it. That's the basics of how to get a TRF102 Formula One car built. Whatever you end up doing, I don't think the kit is all that hard or difficult, obviously, but what you're really going to get into is the body work, because it does not come with these wings on it. It don't come with the electrics. It doesn't come with the wheels and tires. You got to pick that stuff for yourself. And the racing leagues are pretty specific about only having the rubber tires on there, which I've got. I can bolt them on, but the foams are what I'm going to be using to ruin on dirt. I mean, they're replaceable. The other stuff, not so much. Dude, this wing flexes so much. This is like a Red Bull car or a Mercedes or something. Look at back wing even flexes. Who built this car? This must be some kind of Mercedes or Red Bull or something thing. But I can't stop looking at it. I love this thing. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I'm so excited it went together so easy and smoothly. The body will be a little bit finicky to get on there just right and get it to look good. But once it's on there, yeah, I've got a Benetton B194 Formula One car that'll have a nice nice little ring to it on the shelf. So I'm gonna cut it off. Let you guys get back to your lives. I love it. I love you. Thanks for subscribing, and keep checking back in. We got plenty more stuff to do. I got another TA02 chassis to build, another whole nother Lancia 037. We got a Skyline body to paint so we can put a road car in. So we got a bunch of stuff coming. Thank you for watching, and good day to you.